Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about training goals and training frequency. So you might have noticed already that I didn't cut to a video of me training, slacking off a little bit on you guys. I wanted to still get a video out to you, but got to catch a flight soon, so I had to sneak one in there. Didn't have time to film a whole workout or anything. But I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into some things I talked about in my last video, where I talked about programming and training splits and that sort of thing. So this time I wanted to dive a little bit more into training frequency and building a program around your specific goals. Now, having a defined goal, that's going to be the biggest thing. Like I was talking about, if you're training 3-4 days a week, or big body part splits if you want to be a bodybuilder, that sort of thing. Above all of that is just trying to figure out what you want to do with strength. So for me, I want to fight people. So every exercise that I choose is I'm looking for maximum overall full body strength and endurance, basically. And I find strongman works for that. Now though, your goals might just be you want to increase your deadlift, you want to have better squats, you just want some sick arms, anything. Just having a very specific goal, a measurable goal. First off, just way more valuable than just if you're just trying to lose 20 pounds, because it ends up being a never-ending thing. There's a lot of people that I've seen where, if your goal is just to lose 10 pounds, you could just not eat for a week, lose 10 pounds. What do you do after you hit that goal? There's a finish line, and then what? But with strength goals, though, it's always never-ending, because okay, so I won my first fight. Now I want to be, but I didn't knock the guy out. So next one I want to be bigger, stronger, faster. Don't want the next one to go 3 rounds, that sort of thing. Or with the other examples, all right, I hit 4 or 5 on a deadlift for the first time. Now I want to work on that 5th plate, that sort of thing. It's ends up being a never-ending goal. So now training for something like that, I'm a big fan of the Bulgarian method and Pavel Tsatsoulin's greasing the groove type of idea. That's something that I brought up a little bit in the last video. So greasing the groove, to dive a little bit deeper into that, like I explained, it's basically finding a big movement, big compound movement, the one you want to get better at, and doing it as often as possible. Very similar to the Bulgarian method, in that you're training strength like a skill, which it is. It definitely is, because you're going to be building the neurological connections to move your body better, to get the lats firing off when they should, all that good stuff. So you want to be skill building, technique building, especially with big things like Olympic lifts, strongman, powerlifting. When you are getting up there in weight, it's going to be a skill. 1% changes can mean you making or missing a lift, or missing a shot you were supposed to get, that sort of thing. It's all those little 1% changes. So with greasing the groove, though, Pavel, he likes to take half of your max and do that. He doesn't believe in training till failure, which I'm still a little torn on. I don't want to go exactly till failure all the time. He believes that it trains your body to fail. But I like to find a spot where it's sub-max and train that as often as possible. So like that's more similar to the Bulgarian method, where those guys, though, it's extreme, like Bulgarian Olympic lifting team from back in the day. Their schedule is a little tough for the average person, because it's going to be like, all right, you're training your squat 3 times a day, as heavy as you could get it, and it's just building that skill. It's gonna build your strength. Obviously, that they do it a lot lower rep though, but just the frequency of everything. That's where you're gonna build the skills and the strength. So how I like to modify this is instead of maxing out like the Bulgarian method, and instead of greasing the groove and going that low, I want to find a middle ground there. Maybe 80% of your max, just throwing out numbers, something where it's tough, where it's going to be tough to get 3 of these things, and then just working those 3 reps in a couple sets, long breaks in between as often as you can. Just really specialized training for the task that you're trying to do. Like a personal example, over the winter, I had a big goal of trying to, I wanted to hit 500 pounds on a farmer carry for 50 feet. Got really close, got to 495 before I had to start cutting weight for my last fight. But that I was doing farmer carries 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and the weights jumped up by 100 pounds in 2 months. It was just the skill building of getting everything firing correctly, plus the strength building of doing it a lot of reps, a lot of heavy reps, working it, heavy lifts almost every day. But though at the same time, not fully maxing out to the point where you don't want the CNS to be fried, you don't want to be too sore to perform, all that same stuff that I talked about in the last video. You want to find a balance, and also listening to your body. You can even kind of combine these 2 methods. Like with that same example of working the farmer carries, there were days where if I was feeling good, feeling fired up, I would be maxing out on that thing up until the point where, all right, I got, just throwing out numbers out there, got 400, 450, got it up, couldn't walk with it, but just got the pickup. Then the next day, all right, nervous system's fried, let's drop the weight in half, work speed runs, but just kept working that motion, just drilling it into my head. Has a huge carryover. I mean, should be kind of obvious why it works, but a lot of people get scared because, kind of tying it into the last video, a lot of people get scared of training body parts or exercises multiple times in a week when it's actually really effective. Your body adapts really quickly to it. A couple years ago, I remember where it was getting a little popular of people doing these like squat every day programs. I did that for 30 days just because I was looking for something to shake up my routine a little bit, and want to build up the legs as always. And the good thing with that, now at first I was like, oh, this is insane. How are you going to squat heavy under a bar every single day? I know it switches from back squats, front squats, whatever, but heavy squats every day, I'm gonna die. When normally one leg day, I'll be sore for a couple days afterwards. How am I supposed to keep squatting? The body adapts real quick. Where, all right, the first week really sucked while I was adapting, but then after that, it was, just listening to my body, seeing where I was at, switching up between back squats, front squats. The body's able to move in that way. You'll adapt to it, you'll get stronger because of it. Also really helps with the mental side of things, gives you a mental push. Because like that program, for example, when I was doing that, it would have been so easy to just not do squats again. But then, yeah, just pushing through it builds you, definitely. Definitely believe in that. And so using those ideas to carry over into what your goals are, whatever they are, big strength goals, like what do you want to do with strength, I think is a big thing that a lot of people miss out on. Obviously, like if people compete in stuff, that's an obvious one, but But even then, like the things I do doing martial arts, you could kind of think what your goal is for that, whether it's speed, strength, endurance, all of those. You know, break things down a little bit and try to find what movements will help with what movement you're trying to do. So with that, I want to give everybody a little bit of homework. Think about your goals. As cheesy as that sounds, think about your goals and what will help you get to those goals. Now, it's easy if your goals are lifts. Like I was just saying, if your goal is to deadlift, deadlift 3 times a week. As long as you're doing it correctly, it's not going to be bad for you. As long as you're not slacking off on the other muscle groups, it's not going to be bad for you. Like, I don't want you to completely do just one exercise and that's it, but that should be the focus, So if your goal is a deadlift, even going around with the programs, the body part splits that I was talking about, of splitting things up into upper and lower. Hit deadlifts first, then do your upper body workout. Just getting in the frequency and consistency is the biggest thing. To go off on a little tangent, consistency is everything. Now, while I'm talking about frequency, the only reason frequency can work is because you're being consistent that often, and that's why there's so many. Just tying it into all nutrition and exercise and all this stuff. Consistency is the reason why anything works. Whether it's all these fad diets that are out there, whether it's anybody's program they can do, anything that anybody tells you to do, it can work because you're going to be consistent at it. Whether it's one of these like 30-day challenges, whether anything, you're going to get results if you stick with it. So doing these workouts as often as you can over a set amount of time. That's where it helps having a goal too. A goal that's, it's good to have a set goal. Like, okay, I want to hit a new PR on something. But it's good having that because also, okay, so I hit 2 plates on a bench. Once you hit those 2 plates, you're gonna want to say like, okay, so now what if I get 245? So it's something that keeps growing like that. You always want to have that end goal just out of reach, which with a lot of strength goals, it always will be. So it's good to kind of have a focus like that. So yeah, I think that's all I got for you today. So yeah, let me know your goals. Even if it's anything like you're trying to figure out a plan on how to work those in, let me know. Could help you out with that. We could try to figure it out together. That'd be awesome. That'd be fun to make this an interactive thing. Yeah, so like, comment, all that fun stuff. Yeah, so I'll see you on Tuesday.